This is Dr. Anthony Kane with the Complete Connection Parenting Program with another parenting tip today. Today I will discuss to you the idea of consequence and discipline and its use in setting limits, enforcing limits. The children need limits. It's very clear they need limits. And the reason is this. First of all, children are not mature enough to handle themselves properly in the world yet, which is why they live at home with you. A child needs to be told what to do and when to do it until he develops maturity to keep himself safe in certain situations. A child without limits will go out and stay out all night, he'll go to dangerous places, he'll get involved in dangerous things. And your job as a parent is to protect your child and keep him out of trouble. And one of the ways you do that is by using limits. So what you use these limits for, what you do is how do you enforce these limits is use consequences as an enforcement for these limits. Which means when your child does something wrong, or he tries to test your limits, and believe me, it's normal. Every child tests limits. It's part of growing up. When a child tests limits, you have to have an effective consequence in place to discourage your child from testing the limit and let him know that the limit's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real barrier. And there are natural consequences that come out of going over beyond that barrier. It's critical your child understands the limits because the world is full of limits. It's full of things he can and can't do, the rules or boundaries. For example, he can't go on someone's property because he wants something. He can't take something from other people because he wants it. He can't speed in his car because he wants to. There are limits as part of living in society. Your child has to learn that limits are real, limits are important, and limits are part of getting along with everybody else, and use consequences to teach this lesson. Many parents find that consequences are not effective. They're not doing it to be successful with the children. The children don't seem to care. And there's a very easy, simple reason for this. And I discussed this in a video I made for you, which is the /1 problem parents encounter and the mistake they're making when giving consequences. I made this video for you, and you can get it right now. Go to ccparenting.com/discipline, and you'll have access to the video right away.